Hello, I'm Claire Louise Hay from BeHealing.com. I've made a new pick a card read. This time it's for those of you experiencing silence from somebody. Why have they gone silent on you? Let's find out. I've made 3 readings here. It's a timeless reading. Whenever you get into this video is good. Each of these readings has got a deeper dive to it. That's an extended reading that goes with it. So if you find that it is your story, could be a story, want it to be a story, then you might want to get that for even more. If you do, towards the end of these readings, I'll be popping a link for it up there. Then there's also a link for that in the description box and in the comments below. Now, I'm having 2 draws for a private reading with me, a free private reading with me every single month. 2 ways to enter. First way is to be a subscriber on my channel, to click like on this video and leave a comment. You can do that as many times as you want during the week, during the month on different videos for many entries into that draw for a free private reading with me. There's another free private reading draw for the purchases of the deeper dive reads for all of these, for these pick a card reads. So good luck with winning those. All you need to do now is take a pick. Which one would you like? Would you like the crystal? The crystal is out with the forgiveness card. Or would you like the flower? And the flower is out with the freedom card. Or would you like the shell? The shell with a crinkly edge is out with the confusion card. Take your pick now. Don't forget to click like, click on that subscribe button and leave me a comment as well. I do an energy update every single day of the year for the collective. I go live 3 times a week in my Psychic Cafe show where I give 1-question readings. Now you can book in for one of those 1-question reads at any time on my website BeHealing.com. I'll pop a link for it in the description box below and also one up there too. Any pre-booked readings I'll do at the start of the next live show, which I said I do 3 times a week, so it's never far away, and then send you the link to the replay so you don't need to come live. So if you can't make it to my live show, then you can just book in for one of those beforehand and you can watch it back. Alternatively, you can come live. You find the next show laying in wait on my YouTube channel by clicking Be Healing down there. You can click on notify me or set a reminder or something like that to come along live and book while I'm live too. I also make 3 of these Love Pick a Card reads a week as well. Let me know what you want the next one to be about in the comments below. And I offer private readings from my website, BeHealing.com. You can find a link for that in the description box below and also one up there too. After you've booked in, click on the Contact Us page. Put any questions that you've got for your reading in there. They are actually available in limited quantities because there's only one of me and I've got other stuff going on in my life. And so if it says it's sold out, it's just sold out for the day. So do check back a day or so later and you should get something coming up. So take your pick now. Crystal, flower, or shell. I'll see you in your reading. So if you chose the crystal, then this one's for you. Crystals, let's find out why you've got silence at the moment. Why is your person being silent with you at the moment? As usual, crystals, there's going to be a deeper dive to this. That's an extended reading that goes with this. If you find that this is your story, could be a story, want it to be a story, then you might want to get that for even more. If you do, toward the end, I'll be popping a link for it up there. There's also a link for that in the description box and in the comments below. And don't forget, you get an entry into a prize draw by getting that, that extended reading as well, for a private reading with me. So let's find out. Why the silence? Hope. Okay. Now, what I'm picking up from this is your person, they might be hoping that for change in their life. Perhaps they've got themselves into trouble or in a sticky situation or something that's not making them feel like great self-esteem, and they're hoping that something will change. They're hoping that perhaps things between you guys will repair itself as well. It could be that. Why the silence? Feels like hope for change to me. Meditation. So yeah, there's that silent kind of an energy. Meditation, thinking about things. It doesn't have to be like meditation, like formal meditation, sitting on a cushion, you know, cross-legged or anything like that. But it could be like, you know, mulling things over, thinking about things. Listen. The secrets of the sea become apparent when we listen to the sound within the shells. So they're very much introverted at the moment. Might not just be silent with you, might be silent with a whole load of people too, with the friends and the family as well. Yeah, it feels to me like they're kind of wanting change in their life and perhaps not knowing how to bring that change about, but hoping for it. You know, it can be tricky when we've got things that are impacting our self-esteem, like perhaps you know, you can't pay the rent or something like that, you know, or there's something going wrong in your career. It's like, it's very hard to be in relationship and like admit that stuff. It makes us feel very vulnerable, like when we're feeling vulnerable anyway. And if we're talking about start of a romantic relationship too, then they're going to want to impress you rather than like dump problems onto you. Tell us more. Why the silence? What's going on here? Why is Crystal's person being silent with them? The Empress. Okay. So the Empress, this is really good energy, but this is your energy and this is how they're seeing you. The Empress is the divine feminine. So like you've got your empire in order. You know what it is that you deserve and all of that. They might feel like they're just not living up to that at the moment. Tell us more. Why the silence? The Page of Wands. Pages, there's no action there, but there is a focus. There is, the pages can look from a distance. It's like the start of a relationship. When you catch someone's eye, that's the page. And when you walk toward them and ask them out on a date, that's the Knight energy, right? So pages, it's just like onlooking kind of thing. Wands is about passion. So they still have feelings. There's feelings there. They're focused on you, yes, with this Page of Wands. Pages can sometimes be about communication as well. But like I say, page is more the, I'm noticing that person rather than the approach being the Knight. So they are focused on you and there's feelings there for you, a passion there for you. Or an attraction to you, let's put it that way. Physical attraction to you with Wands. That they might want to take action on in the future. Because Wands can very be much about action too. Okay, the Tower, the Three of Cups. Now we're getting into it. So what is going on for them, right, that they're hoping will change? Well, the Three of Cups, it's about other people and they've had a shock, a surprise about other people. Now, this could be like an ex turning up on the doorstep saying I'm pregnant or something like that, you know? It's a shocking situation that's going on for them at the moment involving other people, involving a third party. Now, that doesn't mean that they're kind of with someone else or anything like that when I say third party. In fact, it doesn't even need to be, well, Three of Cups suggests that it's around other people, but it doesn't have to be about romance either. This could be like shocking news. The family, the mum is sick or something like that, you know. It could be anything like that. Well, let's find out more. So the Empress, they're seeing you like being sorted, really, like as this divine feminine energy of the Empress, like knowing what you deserve, knowing what you want. You've got your empire together. You're doing really well. Why have we got the Empress here on the table, though, to do with silence? Three of Emotions, other people. Again, it's other people involved here, right? So this could be that they don't want to bring some garbage into your life. And they've got garbage going on at the moment in their life and they want to sort that out because they know it's not becoming to the Empress. Very much connected with this Tower, so we'll find out what that is soon. What's behind that is new beginnings. Okay, so they want something fresh, a fresh start with you. They don't want to bring this garbage from the past, whatever this Three Emotions is. Drama. It feels like drama to me. Tower and Three of Cups is drama around other people for sure. So they want like a fresh start with you without that stuff going on. Page of Wands, but they are unlooking. They're looking with attraction to you. Page of Wands. The Chariot, they do want to make a move toward you. That's what I was getting, is like Wands can also be about action. So they've got an eye on you with the idea of making a move towards you, moving towards you. Chariot can be about travel as well, so actually moving towards you in a physical kind of a sense. But yeah, they've got their eye on you with the mindset of in the future moving towards you. Let's put it that way. Psychic development, and the kind of looking at you to figure out where you're at, what it is that you want, what's going on for you kind of thing, without directly asking you about that. Because if they directly ask you about that, then you're going to ask questions back to them, and they're not wanting to tell you about this stuff that's going on, they're much more likely, they're hoping that it's going to blow over or it's going to get sorted out, so that when they do tell you about it, they'll say, well, this stuff was going on, but it's not anymore. It's all good now. You know, that kind of thing, if they tell you about it at all. Tower and the Three of Cups, because it might be something that they're ashamed of as well. It doesn't have to be, though. I mean, you know, like someone, their ex turning up on the doorstep being pregnant. It could be something like that, but it doesn't have to be. I'm not like saying that that's what I'm getting in this reading. It's just an example of these energies. The Tower and the Three of Cups. So in that case, they might be ashamed of it and not want to tell you about that. Why I've got the Tower and the Three of Cups, Muse of Materials, and the Muse of Voices. So the two kings out here. Okay, so the Muse of Materials is the King of Pentacles. It's like they want to gain stability and mastery of that stability in their life before they come to you. And the Muse of Voices is the King of Swords. It's about clarity, mental clarity. So whatever it is, this surprise that they've had that is involving other people, this shock kind of thing that they need to sort out, it has rattled them, and perhaps their material resources and the feeling of stability, and also of their clarity too. So they might not know what to do, how to handle that situation at the moment. And I think that's why meditation has come out. So even if they were to tell you about this stuff at the moment, then they have no solution. And men especially don't like that. Women will be okay. We'll talk to our friends when there's no solution there, just to hear each other and just to speak it out. Men don't like that kind of thing. If you're speaking about it, you've got to have a solution or be looking for a solution, you know. They're much more logical like that. So yeah, I think your person needs to get like to figure out how to sort this out. That's where they're at the moment, and they don't want to be talking to you while all this is going on, because they don't want to tell you about it. And what's behind that? Slow but steady. So they're getting on with it. They're sorting it out. They don't want to tell you about it. They don't want to appear like lesser than you by telling you about this stuff. And it feels to me like this is like an all-encompassing thing in their life. Like they wouldn't be able to not mention this if they were talking to you. You know, it might be a big part of their life right now. Tell us more. Why the silence? A message for you. I'm thinking of you this very moment. Your love fills me with light. I love you. You're like a light at the end of the tunnel for them. They're in the tunnel at the moment. They do think about you a lot. And you're that light at the end of the tunnel. Why the silence? So you're having a positive impact as they're going through these things, even if you're not talking at the moment, or perhaps it's one-sided talking at the moment. Let me know in the comments below. If you're talking to them, you're not getting a response from them, so they feel bad about themselves. And what they're going through. What else? Why the silence? Forgive. Reveal what needs to be seen. Yeah, they don't want to tell you something. And yeah, okay, so the forgive card suggests that you might be judgmental of them if they tell you about this thing, and you'll need to forgive them for it. So it's something that it still might be, you know, that they can't pay the rent or something like that. I don't know though. Three of Cups, it's about other people. So it's something that you'll judge. Now, don't let that take your mind to like the worst place kind of thing, the worst case scenario, because it might not be that. You just never know, right? Because remember, like years ago, my eldest son, very much keep things to himself, you know, and I could tell he was upset, but he would not tell me about it at all. And then days later, I'd be like, what was that all about? You know, like a few days ago. And it's like, oh, it's just something was going on with my friend. And there I was thinking like something terrible has happened and he won't tell me, you know, to him, and he won't tell me about it. And it wasn't. It was just something about his friend that he was just like getting emotionally involved in. So it could be something like that. So don't let your mind go to the worst places, worst case scenarios here. Why the silence? Why the silence, crystals? You know, and often with this too, you need to, I'm presuming that I'm talking to women here, but it doesn't have to be. it's good information anyway. But women, we presume that men should be like us, and like we would talk about these things, and it's like that's the right way to deal with stuff, to talk to each other about it, and then it's like a problem shared as a problem hard kind of thing, and people, we don't want even them to come up with solutions for it. We just want to share it and talk about it, and you know, and feel better, because women, we like to be emotionally stable through things, right? And so that's very important to us, how we feel as we're going through something. And so we can like look at men going through things by themselves like this and hiding it away and going, it'd be so much better if you just shared it, and, you know, but it's not for them. It's not for them. And we can't like think that men are just like women, women that aren't doing it properly. Do you know what I mean? The women's way is the way that works for women. It's not necessarily the way that will work for men. Forgiveness again. So yeah, I think you're going to judge them for it. And self-love, because they're judging themselves for it. They're judging themselves for it, right? So they're presuming that you're going to judge them. They need to find that self-love first. So yeah, they've got to forgive themselves first before they'll be able to come forward with this information about what's going on for them. Very much judging themselves for it. What else? Lack of self-worth and communication. It's, yeah, so they can't communicate because they're not feeling worthy of you. It's like they're not going to derail their chances with you by coming to you when they're at the worst possible place. They're not going to do that. It feels like this is fairly new relationship to me. I mean, I can't imagine a scenario of like if you've been in a relationship for a long time where there'd be silence. That would be weird. Let me know in the comments below. How long has this been going on? Do something for something. Give your attention to another. So they are giving their attention to another at the moment. Now, don't let that take you in the romance department, because I really don't think it is. Or it could be an ex, but it'll be more about sorting things out. You know, it could be like an ex has come to them like with big problems or something like that. I don't know. Perhaps not that. I can only guess at what these things might be. And I think perhaps you can only guess about these things too. But yeah, their attention is elsewhere at the moment, trying to sort this thing out. Let's get some messages for you. What do they want to say? What do they want to say? Please forgive me again. Wow, so many messages of like forgiveness here. They're kind of scared that you're going to be judgmental of them. But like I said, it's because they're judgmental of themselves. Focus. I just want to focus. I gave into temptation. So they did something. They're not proud of something, hey? Jealous and possessive. Now this could be about someone else, being jealous and possessive of them. And I was pretending to be someone else. They might have told you a lie about themselves, you know? Trying to bypass whatever's going on, or the past or something like that. And now they're having to face up to it. We have had a lot of energies like that around in the collective energies lately. Just needed to close the curtains there. Someone was coming in on me. What else do they want to say? Yeah, in the collective energies, there's been a lot of that about lately, of like, this thing isn't going to go away, you need to face up to it now. Emotionally unavailable right now. Yes. A lot going on. I'm faced with constant reminders of you. They haven't forgotten about you though. They are thinking about you a lot. What else do they want to say? I wish I could fix things between us. So there's that fixer mentality. And repetitive cycles. Yeah, for some of them it might be an ex coming back around again, needing help or something like that. Perhaps someone that they helped out. Perhaps they wish that they hadn't helped them out now. You know, like it could be some kind of a scenario where they co-signed something with an ex, and it keeps them tied in and helping them out. Or they were with someone that was really desperate, you know, really in trouble or something like that, and they can't just leave them in the lurch. That whenever they come back around again, they have to help them out. They feel that they have to. Perhaps Perhaps they weren't for someone that was really wounded before. But repetitive cycles, something needs sorting out this time, because it's going to keep on coming back around again, and it's got to do with other people. So hence the silence. Well, if that sounds like it is your story, could be a story, wanted to be a story, you might want to get that deeper dive for even more. In the deeper dive, I'm going to go into guidance for you. So what do the guides say that you should do then in this situation now? So guidance for you in the situation you find yourself in right now. Guidance for you in this relationship, you guys together, once you're properly together, what are the dynamics between you? Are there any red flags that you need to know about? How can you make it work really well? And also how this might all play out with possible timelines. So that's going to be pretty interesting for this one. If you're interested in that, I'll pop a link for it up there. There's also a link for that in the description box and in the comments below. It's 20 Australian dollars, which is about 15 American dollars right now. And it's an instant watch kind of a thing. You do need to type your email address in very carefully, because if you get that wrong, you will not receive it. Now the email, it might end up in your inbox, but it might end up in your spam, your junk, or your promotions folder. So check in those places. In that email, you will see a link to the crystal, the flower and the shell. Click on the crystal. On a device that you can open PDFs with, in that PDF, amongst other things, you'll see a picture of a video. And when you click on that, if it doesn't take you right away to a video, just try it on a different device. And it should. And don't forget, if you purchase that deeper dive, you'll get an entry into the draw for a free private reading with me each month. So good luck with all of this if this is where you're leaving me. And if you're coming with me to that deeper dive read, then I will see you in there very shortly. So if you chose the flower, then this one's for you. Flowers, let's find out why the silence. Why is your person being silent with you at the moment? Let's see. Now, as usual, flowers, there's going to be a deeper dive to this. That's an extended reading that goes with this. If you find that this is your story, could be a story, want it to be a story, you might want to get that for even more. So if you do, toward the end of the reading, we're popping a link for it up there. There's also a link for that in the description box and in the comments below. And don't forget, you'll get an entry into the draw too, for that free private reading with me each month. So why the silence? You've got hope. Same card that came out for the crystal, by the way. Hope. So they're hoping something will change. I'm hoping that something will change in this reading, because it can't be exactly the same scenario. Surely. Different card this time. Imagination. Okay, hope and imagination. So a bit of a fantasy element going on here. Why the silence? Breathe. Stress. Some kind of a stressful situation here. Imagination and hope. Fantasy. Okay. Just get some more cards out before I'll tell you what I think I'm getting from this. So why the silence? Tell us why the silence. There's too many. Why the silence? Why the silence of flowers? Thank you. The world. World could indicate like the ending of a chapter, start of a new chapter. Could also indicate travel as well. Why the silence? They're in a stressful situation for sure. Seven of Cups, choices to make in their life, confused about those choices too. There's an element of fantasy here that it's kind of not sitting right with me in some kind of a way. Five of Pentacles, this is about having to walk your own path at the moment. Them having to walk their own path at the moment. So tell us why the World card is here. You see, what I'm getting from this is, you could have someone who's like overly optimistic about life and about things that they're doing, and something is going to be sorted out, and hopeful about this, but it's very much fantasy. It's in their imagination. But stressful. See, they're in a stress state at the moment. They might not be seeing things clearly. The World card is the Two of Materials. They've got to juggle things at the moment, and they might have a lot on the plate at the moment, and it could be including travel, but also trying to, oh, I just got deja vu then, trying to end a chapter in their life and start a new chapter in their life, and that might not be going very well. There's two indications that that is not going well for them. The first indication is this Breathe card, so they're in a stress state. We know, don't we, when we do things in a stress state, it's not going to work out well. We don't get good things from stress states. We just don't. We need to calm ourselves from that stress state, do self-loving kind of things to get ourselves to an emotional even keel. and then we can make good decisions from there. So they're not in a state where they'd make good decisions. That coupled together with this fantasy element of this is like hope on a wing and a prayer kind of thing, and it's all going to work out. And fantasy thinking like that, like, oh, it'll just manifest and it's going to work out, even though I'm kind of in this stress state. Things don't work out when we're in that kind of a state, right? So they might be overly positive and optimistic because they're highly stressed at the moment and they're trying to manifest it. So a lot on their plate at the moment. They're trying to end a chapter in their life and start a new chapter, and it's not going well for them at the moment. And it feels to me that it's because they are in the stress state and going kind of thing, rather than going, okay, this is where I'm at, and this is where I'm at, this is my predicament, I need to end this chapter and start a new chapter. This stress isn't doing me any good at all. You know, getting themselves to that kind of grounded point of view, they'll be able to do much better rather than spinning those plates. If we're in that stress state and we're just spinning those plates like, no, I can't let these plates drop to the ground, there's no new good chapters that are going to start in that kind of state, right? So why are they being silent with you? Well, because they've got so much going on. Past, present, and future. Yeah, so start of a new chapter. They're trying to end a chapter that has been their past and start a new chapter. And we've got so much going on. Changes, choices, and all that kind of thing. They're not in a stable place to talk to anyone, I wouldn't think, and tell them where they're at. And if they are talking to anyone, they're probably overly positive and saying, no, everything's going to be great. Perhaps they can't do that with you. Perhaps you'd see right through it and they know it. Seven of Cups. So they've got some like choices to make in their life at the moment, and there's confusion around this. They don't really know what they're doing. They don't have the clarity at the moment to know what they're doing. Seven of Cups. Ten of Emotions. But they're going for gold kind of thing. They want like the happily ever after. I think that you've got someone here who, they've got this idealistic kind of a trait to them, and overly positive kind of a trait, and thinking that they can take a giant leap from where they are at the moment. I don't think they're seeing clearly where they are at the moment. I don't think they've got a grounded point of view of themselves, and I'm in a bit of a mess at the moment, and I probably need some help, you know, like a coach or something like that, if it's, you know, a business thing, or, you know, just help in some kind of a way, or mentor in some kind of a way. I think your person is yet to hit rock bottom, to be honest, because the Ten of Emotions there, it just feels so out of place with this energy. It's like, oh, they'll be able to have the happily ever after soon. It's like, not from there you won't, not from this energy you won't. But wishful thinking and hope, yeah, it's a little bit naive, really. What's behind this? So, but they're trying to make choices for the best, you see. Tell us what's behind this. Can I just have one, please? Seven of Cups and Ten of Emotions. Tell us what's behind this. Thank you. It's all good. You see, this is their mindset. It's all good, it's all good, it's all good. Treading water, trying to spin those plates. They're trying to remain positive, and there comes a crash from this. This is very much a reading about they're going to crash and then have to face where they're at right now. Not as punishment or anything like that, but we just do. You know what I mean? There comes a point like this kind of scenario. I think perhaps a lot of us have experienced, say, if you've had a bill that you don't pay, or credit card that is racking up debt, and we ignore it, don't we? We can use our credit cards just to kind of ignore that and just, you know, buy that thing, but ignore that the debt is racking up there. And there comes a point that optimistic kind of ignoring it is going to catch up, right? There comes a point where we've got to go, oh my God, and actually look at that debt, look at it square in the face, not beat ourselves up about it, but look at it and go, this is where I'm at. I need a proper plan in place now to do that. And your person's not to that point yet. It could be about debt. But it could be about all kinds of things you see here. So Five of Pentacles, they know that they need to sort this out by themselves. This is their path. This has got nothing to do with the relationship. And also, you don't want to be getting into a relationship with someone that's in this kind of a mess too. Wow, look at this. So Five of Pentacles. So interesting. These two cards came out for the crystals reading as well. So they need to walk this path alone. Muse of Voices, which is the King of Swords. They need clarity about it. Muse of Materials is the King of Pentacles. They need to find that stability. So they're not in stability at the moment. They're not stable at all at the moment. And they need to find that. Ace of Materials, they want to give you a really big offer. You see, this person is overly optimistic and thinks that they can make a giant leap in their life to this happily ever after, and they can't. They're going to have to work toward it. Definite feeling of, yeah, hope, fantasy, overly positive, but it's coming from a very stressed, negative kind of a place, trying to ignore where they're really at. What's really behind this? Now, it doesn't have to be take them a long time to sort this out either. I don't know about you, but I've only done that credit card thing once in my life, a few years ago, and once I'd had faced up to it and kind of put a plan in place, and my plan was 50% of everything that came in, whether, you know, it was 10 cents that came in, whatever it was, 50% went on paying that debt off. And I paid it off really fast in the end, because with that clarity that I'd got, then I started doing, and the positivity that I'd got, that I was paying it and it was going down, even though I had to kind of rein in other kind of spending and all of that kind of thing. That clarity that I got on me feeling better about facing it and paying it off, it had me in a good place about my business. And so I was coming up with ideas and was selling more readings and stuff like that from it. And so, yeah, it doesn't have to be a long time that it takes, but what it takes is this confronting where they're actually at the moment. Ascension, they will ascend out of this given time, but they need to reach rock bottom first. They need to, well, they don't actually need to reach rock bottom first, but they just need to face it. Generally, people only face it once they've reached rock bottom. That's the unfortunate side of things. So either silence, oh, this person has got a lot on their plate right now. And yeah, quite rightly, they need to sort it out by themselves for sure. But there's this feeling, like this hopeful feeling that they're going to be able to sort themselves out quickly and then come in with this big offer for you, kind of to impress you. I think this person wants to impress you. Tell us more. Why the silence? When it comes to matters of the heart, there's no right or wrong. Every choice you make expands your understanding of life and love. So they've got something about them here where they realize, they've got some kind of a spiritual acumen, this person, where they kind of realize what's going on, what they need to do and all of that kind of stuff. Tell us more. Why the silence there? So it feels to me like they're trying to explain it away with that card, what they're going through. Like, there's an avoidance. This is spiritual bypassing at its best with this person. They think that they can move forward without facing really where they're at. Talk less, feel more. Okay, so this suggests that the amount of feeling that they've got at the moment is causing the silence. So they're talking less because they're feeling more. So the magnitude of the emotional state, and its stress is the emotional state that they're in at the moment, is overwhelming to them. They can't two materials like balance that up with the communication too. It's just too much for them to deal with. It's enough for them to deal with the stress at the moment. They're really stressed. Hey, I'm a bit worn out doing this reading, because reading really stressed people isn't a nice energy to tap into. Nice, I mean like nice for me, you know. Nice for me to feel as I'm tapping into it. Freedom, got to set themselves free. Yeah, got to set themselves free. Flirt. So they've got to set themselves free. And this flirt card, again, I'm getting like they might want to flirt with you. They might want to keep it all light and pretend that these heavy things aren't going on, or appear that way with others. Just because, you know, The most depressed people can be the one that tell jokes and are laughing and have got a smile on their face. It's that kind of thing. It's like they're not really showing their true feelings at the moment, but they need to be free of something. Old wounds, and they're self-conscious about the truth. So not only do they not want to admit to you or other people what the truth is, old wounds are causing them to kind of not even admit it to themselves. Perhaps they were in a relationship, or perhaps with family, that they were kind of, if they admitted their vulnerabilities, that they were losing in some kind of a way, it came down on them hard. So there's this feeling like, I can't admit it, I can't admit to it, I can't admit to it. Very self-conscious about that truth of where they're at the moment. So they've got a lot working against them to actually be real about where they're at the moment. The thing is, once you've been in this situation where you're trying to ignore something and then eventually you face it, it feels like so scary to face it. Like, I just don't want to face it. I just don't want to face it. And then when you do, afterwards you think like, why did I torture myself for so long without facing up to it? It wasn't that bad when I faced up to it. We don't face up to it sometimes because we think that there's no solution. We're like, well, what's the point in facing up to it because there is no solution? It's like, no, there's only no solution from where you're at the moment. That stressful state, you can't see a solution. But when you face it, there will be a solution, or one will become apparent very soon once you're calm about it and you face things. Let's get some messages from them for you. So what do they want to say? It's a long distance. I was getting that travel thing there. There's a long distance between you at the moment. I think the world of you. I think you're great. You're the bee's knees. I want things to work out, for sure. This person's heart's in the right place. And this is not easy. We've all been through this. I'm sure you've been through this kind of thing too. This is not an easy place to be in. There's the amount of stress and that phase before we face up to something. It's not an easy place to be in at all. It feels like your world's falling apart. It feels like, well, to our nervous systems, it's like life or death situation. The nervous system is saying you can't admit to that because you'll die, you know? That's what it feels like. That's when our nervous systems work against us in a way. I ran away because I felt I couldn't live up to your needs and expectations. Did a runner at distance. Damn. I'm afraid of losing you. That's why they don't want to tell you as well, right? And please don't move on. Please don't find someone else. They're ashamed of how they treated you. So they're actually added on to all of this stress is shame about them not talking to you about this and all of that too. So double whammy there. Actually, I don't want to cause you to feel any guilt or anything like that, because it would be misplaced if you did. But added on to the stress that they're under for whatever this thing is the stress of you kind of being there. In a way, you're a light at the end of the tunnel, and in a way, you're like an added stressor to it too, because they feel guilty about that. They feel shame about that, of how they treated you. Doing a runner instead of like explaining things to you, they're feeling bad about the lack of communication as well. But I have a good feeling about this person, that they will turn things around in time. But they need to walk this path by themselves for sure. So that's what I've got for you. If that sounds like it is your story, could be a story, want it to be a story, then you might want to get that deeper dive for even more. In that deeper dive, that extended reading, I'm going to go into guidance for you. So what should you do right now then? In the situation you find yourself in? And I'm going to go into you guys together. What are the dynamics between you in relationship? Are there any red flags that you need to look out for? How can you make it work really well? and also how this might all play out with possible timelines. If you're interested in that, I'll pop a link for it up there. There's also a link for that in the description box and in the comments below. It's 20 Australian dollars, which is about 15 American dollars right now, and it's an instant watch kind of a thing. You do need to type your email address in very carefully, because if you get that wrong, you will not receive it. Now, the email, it might end up in your inbox, but it might end up in your spam, your junk, or your promotions folder, so do check in those places. In that email, you will see a link to the crystal, the flower, and the shell. Click on the flower on a device that you can open PDFs with. In that PDF, amongst other things, you'll see a picture of a video. And when you click on that, if it doesn't take you right away to a video, just try it on a different device and it will. So thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to click like before you click off down there. Click that subscribe button if you're new, and leave a comment because you get entered into that draw. And don't forget, if you get that deeper dive read, you'll get entered into another draw to 2 chances to win a private reading with me in these pick a card reads. So if this is where you're leaving me, good luck with all of this. And if you're coming with me to that deeper dive read, then I will see you in there very shortly. If you chose the shell and this one's for you, shells, let's find out why the silence. Why is your person being silent with you at the moment? Let's find out. Now, as usual, shells, there's going to be a deeper dive to this. That's an extended reading that goes with this. If you find that this is your story, could be a story, want it to be a story, then you might want to get that for even more. If you do, toward the end of the reading, I'll be popping a link for it up there. There's also a link for that in the description box and in the comments below. And don't forget, if you get that deeper dive read, then you can get an entry into that draw for a free private reading with me. You can also do that by clicking like on this video, being a subscriber, and leaving a comment while you're watching too. So why is your person being silent with you at the moment? Let's find out. Tending the future. So they're sorting something out for the future. That's why they're being silent. Plans for the future. Could be some kind of a surprise. Flow. They're going with the flow. They're flowing with it. Going with the flow. Tending the future and going with the flow. So maybe not necessarily marching ahead with this thing that they're tending the future with. Just going with the flow, being easy, chill, easy breezy about it. Exploring their options, maps show what has already been discovered, go another way. So they're just kind of exploring their options at the moment. It doesn't have to be about romance or anything like that, like, you know, dating other people. Something for the future. They are not quite sure about whether they want to be in a full committed relationship at the moment, is what it feels like to me. And that could be why they've backed away from you and aren't talking at the moment. I'm not saying that I'm not getting that they've decided that they don't want that. I'm getting that they're undecided. What they want in the future. Do they want to be a bachelor and pursue career? Or do they want to, like, you know, find out who they are more? So Queen of Swords, they've got this boundaries, kind of putting heart. See how she's got a heart in a cage there? This is their energy. They've got boundaries to the heart at the moment. Not particularly interested in pursuing relationships right now, while they're figuring out what it is exactly that they want in the future. I think that this person can see like where you're headed and what you want, and they're not sure that they want the same thing. They're just not sure, right? There you go. Just not sure. 2 of Swords. I'm just not sure. I've got to think about it first, and I've got to decide. If it feels like they kind of know the offer that's on the table for you and what it is that you want, and they're just not sure. Just not sure, just not sure. 2 of Pentacles, weighing up their options. It's just dead clear, this one. But I can keep on pulling the cards out and they'll keep on saying the same thing, I think. So the Queen of Swords, they've got boundaries with the heart at the moment, not really pursuing relationships right now, need to walk their own path. Alone at the moment. Justice. It's like, what is their karma? What would they like? Ooh, Empress. Okay, so they do see this option, like Justice card is like a true match kind of a card in the Empress, but then walking their own path, it's also very important to them too. Now, it could be that this person hasn't yet seen that they can be in a relationship and walk their own path too. So they might have experienced relationships with very controlling kind of people, and they've not been able to pursue their career and do their own thing, and perhaps even go away with their mates, you know, and just have that freedom to do what they want to do and pursue their own path. Could be that in a relationship, you still want to pursue your own path and be able to do that too, and, you know, see your friends and you know, be able to take opportunities and pursue your career and creativity and all of that kind of thing. That's good in a healthy relationship. They might not yet see that that's a possibility. So they, you know, they might think, I can either pursue my own path or be in a relationship, but I can't do both at once. And they maybe haven't seen the possibility that they can actually do both at once. There can be relationships like that. So what's behind that? And there can be relationships that aren't like that too. You know, there's some people that are like, no, you can't do that. I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to pursue. I don't want you to be growing and doing new things, because then you're changing and you might leave me. You know, there's that. So anger behind that. Yeah, for sure they've experienced that before. For sure they've experienced that before. Someone telling them, no, you can't do that. No. So you've got someone with resistance here to being in kind of a long-term relationship because of the experiences they've had with someone that's been controlling. And so they link relationship with being squished and not being able to follow their own path anymore. So of course they're going to be undecided. Wow, Two of Swords. Yeah, for sure they're going to be undecided. Because to them it feels like they'll have to give up a lot for a relationship. Breaks the heart. So they're torn in two by this, you know, they are torn in two by this. That two things that are very important to them, they think that they're the opposites and they're not the opposites. That's the thing. New beginnings. They do want a new beginning. Wow. So this person just doesn't know that they can have it all. Two of Pentacles. Whoa. So, weighing up their options. Yeah, it was that one. Four of Voices. So, taking time out to rest, relax, recuperate, think about things, think on things. Look, like Two of Swords, Three of Swords, Four of Swords here. It's the right progression, for sure. It is. It's the right, they're headed in the right direction as they're thinking on these things. Ancient wisdom is behind that. Yeah, they might be asking other people about it too. Hopefully they'll be asking the right people too, and not like people that have also been stung by controlling types too. Hopefully they're not asking people that are in that same kind of mindset going, oh yeah, you're better off not in a relationship. Hopefully they're asking someone with actual wisdom that will say, no, you can have both. You don't know that your person's going to be controlling unless they already do. Okay, tell us more. Why the silence? So they've withdrawn from you. Well, they're thinking about the future and very much believing that they can't have both. I'm thinking of you this very moment. Your love fills me with light. I love you. So they've got the love there for you and they're thinking about you. Beware of what you're projecting, for the qualities you admire in one another are qualities you both possess. Oh. Okay. Watch out with this one then, because this is about projection. So if they're scared that of controlling relationships, that they're not going to be able to follow their path, you would think someone like that would not be controlling in a relationship, because you think that they'd know not to do that to someone else. But the projectors don't do that. They don't know about that. And what they tend to do is do the exact thing that they're scared of that's happening to them. So this person could, if they remain unaware of this, could become like a very controlling person that stops you from pursuing your own path in a relationship too. So just be aware of that, because that projection card, you know, that is something really to watch out for. So many people that are projection that don't have that knowledge of themselves and will project it on other people instead. It's, you know, it's like the people that are cheating will be the ones that like presume that everyone else is cheating on them. The people that steal just think that everyone's like stealing everything. Do you know what I mean? It's like you talk to a policeman and they think everyone's guilty. It's like whatever they have got going on is what they think everyone, you know, they make the judgments presuming that everyone is like them too. So be careful with this person, because yeah, they're likely to be a controlling person. I learned that the hard way, is that I got together with somebody. I had a, I was a single parent. I had a baby by myself. And then I got together with a guy who had also got someone pregnant and had a young child, but they were a single parent. She was a single parent with a child. and she was turning this toddler against him to kind of keep him out of this kid's life, and it worked too. And I'm like, that's really terrible, you know, it's a terrible thing to go through. And he did exactly the same thing to me. He did exactly the same thing to me, and it's like, it didn't make sense to me. It's like, why would you, when you know exactly what that feels like, why would you do it to someone else? But it's this projection thing. So when people don't have the wherewithal to be introspective and see themselves clearly in what they're doing, and then decide to rectify something, they will project. And there's a lot of people doing that, right? Or they'll do the same thing that was done to them and not realize. And if you want to look at it from a higher perspective, they're getting all the information about both sides of the coin, let's put it that way, so that they can perhaps next lifetime, you know, deal with it. So detoxify. Person, a bit toxic. Feels to them like the detoxifying, getting rid of the toxic stuff out of their life. Not necessarily doing that though. Well, we'll see in the deeper dive if this really is a big red flag to look out for, but I am kind of feeling it in this, just with that card coming out. Soul confusion, soul connection. They feel a soul connection with you, and perhaps there is a soul connection, because if you've got like a mutual lesson to be had here, especially around control, if you've been dealing with control stuff, you're going to feel a soul connection with this person. And confusion, they're confused right now. Yeah, there's all these swords like in the head, don't know what to do. That Two of Swords just says it all. And whoop, why the silence? Fantasy and love. So they've got a fantasy about ideal love. Oh, I just got like a weird flash there of like them idealizing the parental relationship. Weird. Okay, so they got this fantasy of love, and it's a fantasy. It could be that they idealize the parents' relationship. It doesn't mean that the parents' relationship was a good relationship, even if they stayed together. There could be an element of control. A relationship could work with a submissive woman and a controlling masculine, right? It could, or the other way around. It could work, but I don't know, I just got it really strongly that they're idealizing a parental relationship and perhaps wanting to replay that. Quite a few people do that too. Why the silence? They're focused on love, be willing to express love. Not willing at the moment, yeah, not willing. So there's this compulsion to express the love for you, but unwilling to do that. There's something pulling them back. And I get it, there's something pulling them back because they're kind of fearful that it's going to get controlling, but I really think it's them that's going to get controlling and not you. Okay, what do they want to say? I feel you. I pulled away because I'm overwhelmed with all the things going on in my life. Going on in the head, I think. I dive in and out of relationships. So this person, they are quite resistant. They want a relationship, yeah. I mean, there's these love cards and stuff, yeah. But it doesn't appear like able to have a very good relationship. So diving in and out of relationships, probably it gets to a certain point and then they pull away when commitment and it seems serious, and then they're like, oh, I'm going to get controlled. I dream of you. There is this compulsion to be with you though. Strong soul connection there. But like I say, the strong soul connections can be because you've both got a lesson for each other. And if your lessons have been about control, I'd watch out with this one. Destined connection. I think it's a destined connection. And I'm filled with regret. No, doesn't want to focus, but yeah. that is what I've got for you. Now, if that sounds like it is your story or could be a story or want it to be a story, you might want to get that deeper dive for even more. In the deeper dive, in that extended reading, I'm going to go into guidance for you in the situation you find yourself in at the moment. So this part could be very important for you, as could the you guys together. What are the dynamics between you? Let's find that out and see if there are those red flags in there that I'm kind of seeing already. And how you can make it work really well as well if those red flags aren't there, and how this might all play out with possible timelines. If you're interested in that, I'll pop a link for it up there. There's also a link for that in the description box and in the comments below. It's 20 Australian dollars, which is about 15 American dollars right now, and is an instant watch kind of a thing. You do need to type your email address in very carefully, because if you get that wrong, you will not receive it. Now, the email, it might end up in your inbox, but it might end up in your spam, your junk, or your promotions folder, so do check in those places. In that email, you will see a link to the crystal, the flower, and the shell. Click on the shell on a device that you can open PDFs with. In that PDF, amongst other things, you'll see a picture of a video, and when you click on that, if it doesn't take you right away to a video, just try it on a different device and it will. So thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to click like. Before you click off down there, click that subscribe button if you're new. Don't forget that that gets you an entry into the draw if you leave a comment. So leave your comments now. And if this is where you're leaving me, good luck with all of this. If you're coming with me to that deeper dive read, you'll get another entry into another draw for a free private reading with me. Then I will see you in there very shortly.